Good morning, UACC family. It's good to be with you again. Last week we started talking about the topic of forgiveness, and we said that forgiveness is a gift that you must give yourself before you can give it to someone else. It starts in one person's heart before it can bear fruit in a relationship with another person. And we were looking at Luke 23:34, just to see Jesus' model of forgiveness from the cross, where Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing." And then he went on and he said, "And they divided up his clothes by casting lots." Today, I want to focus on one aspect of this, and that is that Jesus forgave those who did not deserve to be forgiven. And that's really an important thing. The men at the cross, they had mocked him, they had beaten him, they had nailed his hands and feet to the cross. There were two criminals on either side of him who deserved punishment. In uttering these words, Jesus was forgiving them all. He was forgiving all of them who he says they didn't know what they were doing. But they were oblivious, they didn't care. They were doing all these evil things, and Jesus was forgiving them. But when he uttered those words, he wasn't just forgiving them, he was forgiving us too. Because we participated in his crucifixion just as much as they did. It was our sin that nailed him to that cross just as much as anyone else's. So when he said, "Father, forgive them, they don't know what they're doing," he was speaking of the soldiers who didn't realize that they were crucifying the Son of God. But he was also speaking to us, to our daily sin, to the fact that we don't know or recognize the ugliness of each rebellious act against him that our sin represents. We don't grasp the eternal consequence of our disobedience. But if we think about ourselves, we think about this. If we're honest, we will admit that probably we feel that nobody who needs forgiveness from us is really deserving. I mean, after all, they've hurt us. They've gossiped about us. They've lied to us. They've injured us in some way, and they haven't acknowledged it. Again, they don't know what they're doing. They're just out there doing it. They've hurt us, and they haven't asked for forgiveness. They haven't said they're sorry. They haven't done anything. And most of these people who we should be forgiving according to the Bible, in our hearts we feel they don't deserve to be forgiven. But Jesus forgave the people crucifying him on the cross when they didn't deserve it. He forgave us when we didn't deserve it. You know, if forgiveness were easy, it wouldn't be so meaningful. But the fact is, it's not easy. Because we're not just called to forgive the people who are contrite and sorry and repentant. The model of Jesus is that we have to forgive everyone, even the ones who are not repentant, even the ones who are undeserving. But it's worth it. Because again, that gift is something we're not giving to them, we're giving it to ourselves first. We have to cleanse our own hearts. The people God calls you to forgive don't deserve it. And maybe they don't even care if you forgive them or not. But true undeserved forgiveness does have the power to transform people. You know, one of the most beautiful stories I've ever read is the story in the book Les Miserables. And the story of Jean Valjean when he goes to the priest, and the priest takes care of him and looks after him. But when Jean Valjean is leaving, he's poor and he needs something, so he steals some candlesticks. And as he's going away, he's caught by the police and brought back to the priest. And he tells the police that the priest had given him those candlesticks. And when they take him, they say, "Listen, he says that you gave it to him, but please just tell us that he stole them and we'll take him off to prison again and he'll never see the light of day again." But the priest says, "No, I did give it to him." The priest forgave him, even though he was undeserving. And he said, "Not only did I give him these candlesticks, but he forgot these other items that I wanted to have him as well." And he gave him all that stuff and he blessed him. And that blessing transformed Jean Valjean's life. God does the same thing. He forgives us all when we're undeserving. And it has the power to transform us, but it doesn't transform everyone. Many people still walk away from God. Many people don't listen. But those who do listen, those who do understand what it means to be forgiven in that way, are transformed. We'll forgive many people who maybe don't deserve it. And maybe some of them will be touched by our kindness and transformed by it, and others will not. But that's not the point. I would beg you today, just like we hear in that simple children's song in the movie Frozen that our kids sing all the time, let it go. Let it go. Let God worry about who's deserving and who isn't. When we cleanse our hearts by removing all our resentment and anger, God will fill our hearts with His goodness and love. And isn't that a better way to spend your day? Isn't that a better way to live? Meditating and enjoying on God's goodness instead of our anger. I pray that you'll do that today. I pray that you'll understand the joy of undeserved forgiveness by giving that gift to yourself and as well giving that opportunity to someone else. God bless you and have a great day.